With regard to food shortage, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
So for today's video, we are talking about 2 ways that you can prepare for food shortages, because they're real and apparently they're coming. Hey guys, T2 out here. Welcome back to the Time Preparedness channel. President Joe Biden was on national television telling people that food shortages are real and that we should be preparing for food shortages. Now, later on in a different interview, Jen Penske, whatever her name is, said, listen, whoa, hold up. He wasn't necessarily talking to the American public. He was talking more towards the Ukrainians or more towards the Europeans. Now, I am not a smart man. I understand. I went to college for like 6 months. But I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And when the United States president gets on United States television and is speaking, he's speaking to the United States population. And when he says food shortages are real and we should prepare for them, that means us here in America. So for today's video, we are talking about 2 ways that you can prepare for food shortages, because they're real and apparently they're coming. Now, the first way is the most popular option. It is an option that 90+% of people are going to take, and that is the panic buying method. If you see it on the shelf and you can afford it, you buy it. It doesn't matter if you've never tried it, buy it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it, buy it. It doesn't matter if you're allergic to it and if you eat it you will die, buy it anyway. You see, this is the panic buying method. And we saw this in 2020 when lockdowns began. Everybody bum rushed the stores to buy what they could find. Now, after a few hours of everybody doing this, there was nothing left on the shelf. So people were buying anything that was left. It didn't matter if they've never tried it. It didn't matter if they didn't like it. It didn't matter if they were deadly allergic to it. They bought it. Because the mentality is, it's better to have it and not need it than not have it at all. Now, 90% of the population is going to do this. Maybe even more. How do I know this? Because it's what they're used to. Because take a look at 2020. That's all that was. But also take a look at any disaster preparedness vlogs from non-prepping channels. You see these young families with cameras running around Sam's Club, running around Walmart, and they're buying things that they've never tried before. Because there's a storm coming. Because there's a hurricane on the coast and it's going to hit their house in a week or 2 weeks. So they're buying anything that they can get their hands on. Again, it doesn't matter if they eat it. It doesn't matter if they've never tried it. It doesn't matter if they're allergic to it, because they want stuff. They want things. I don't necessarily agree with this mentality, but I will be taking part in it as well, just like many of you. Because again, I'd rather have it and trade it off later than have nothing at all. If I go to the store knowing that I don't like SpaghettiOs, and all they have is SpaghettiOs, guess what? I'm getting a buggy full of SpaghettiOs. All else fails, I can trade it to my neighbor for some eggs. I can trade it to another neighbor for some milk. I can trade it to another neighbor for some Spam. Who knows? But knowing that I don't like those SpaghettiOs, I'm still going to buy them. Because that's the only option available at the time. Again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but if it's all you have, it's all you have. Now, the second way that you can prepare for food shortages is less popular, but it's a better mentality, and that is to find solutions. The problem with the panic buying mentality is it doesn't matter if you stock up for a week or a year, eventually you're going to run out. Now, let me say that again for those in the back. It doesn't matter if you stock up for a week, a month, a year, you're going to run out of food. Now, you might get lucky and have 365 days worth of food in this event. last a year, and you never run out of food. But on the 366th day, on the 367th day, that is when it affects you. The only thing you're doing with the panic buying mentality is delaying the inevitable. It doesn't matter that you've stocked up on a year's worth of food if this event lasts a year and a half. It doesn't matter if you stock up on a week's worth of food if this event lasts for 2. Eventually, you're going to run out of food. So the second way you can prepare for the upcoming food shortages is by finding solutions. Now, the finding solution mentality comes from my buddy over at the Unapologetic Prepper. Now, UP is probably one of the biggest a-holes in the prepping community. I mean that respectfully, though, because he doesn't take crap from anybody. He's not fear porn. He's not out here pushing some product. He is a homesteader. And his mentality is to find solutions for everything. You're not going to see him hoard up toilet paper because he has a solution. He has a bidet. He has a family cloth. You're not going to see him hoard up and panic buy cans of Spam because he owns a farm. Now, you might not like the way that he says the things that he says, but he says it honestly. And honestly, that is the best thing you can have on a YouTube channel, especially when it comes to prepping. Find solutions. Now, how does that play into a food shortage? You can still go out and panic buy, but know that that food's going to run out. So have a plan for when it does. Now, whether that means growing a garden in your backyard, whether that means having livestock in your backyard, whether that means knowing the wild edibles in your area, doesn't really matter. Those are finding solutions. Because understanding that that stockpile of food that you bought is going to run out eventually, you need to find an alternative route for getting calories, for getting food. Now, you can grow a garden, and a lot of people do it where I live. Me personally, these thumbs aren't green. I can't grow anything to save my life. So I know that my solution for when I run out of food cannot be to grow out and grow a garden. I need to find an alternative route to the alternative route. So instead of growing a garden, I choose number 2. I have livestock. I have chickens and I have ducks. And each of those will produce about 1 egg a day. Will I get tired of eating eggs? Absolutely. But it gives me an option. I can take that excess and I can go trade with someone else. Someone that can grow a garden. Someone that has a cow. Someone that has a goat. I can take my food, my solution, and go trade it for someone else's solution. Or even someone else's panic bought food stocks. Now, if you don't have the land to grow a garden, or maybe your HOA won't allow livestock, you have to resort to option 3, and that is knowing your wild edibles. Now, my buddy Prepping with Sarge, his videos are all about wild edibles. He will teach you what you need to know and how to identify a wild edible. The unfortunate part is he's located in coastal South Carolina. So if you live out west, his videos might not be helpful. There are tons and tons and tons of wild edible books that you can buy probably at your local bookstore or even at your local Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, that will teach you how to identify edible plants. Again, find solutions. Where I live, I'm in a very wooded area, and I can take a walk, a single mile, and go find as many acorns as I want to find. Now, I have a personal food source, and I don't have to worry about panic buying. I don't have to worry about raising animals. I don't have to worry about raising a garden. I take a walk in the woods, fill up a bag, bring it back, do what I need to do to get them edible. That gives me a food source that not many other people are going to be looking for. That gives me a food source that I can then take and trade to someone else. Every calorie counts. And by knowing your wild edibles, it gives you calories. Many of them also provide essential vitamins and minerals. So know your wild edibles in your local area. If you can't grow a garden, if you can't raise livestock, or know them just to know them, because it's great to know. So guys, let's end this video with 2 questions. Number 1, do you believe that that message was directed towards us? Do you believe that the US is going to face a food shortage in the near future? Or do you believe that message was directed more towards the Ukrainians and the Europeans? And number 2, how are you preparing for a possible food shortage? Are you going out and stocking up on canned food and dry goods that are going to last for a long time and possibly running into the panic buying crowd? Or are you going the solution route? Are you buying more seeds to put in the garden? Are you buying more fruit trees to plant? Are you buying more livestock to give you eggs and meat? Are you learning about your wild edibles that are in your local area? Let me know down in the comment section below. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I hope y'all stay safe out there. Again, answers down below. That's all I got. T2 out.